Okay, so what parts, let me rephrase that. What type of factoring have we done so far in our unit? Greatest common factor. What is the greatest common factor?
The biggest factor, because it's the greatest.
The biggest number in front of the next number.
Two or more numbers, right? Okay. And what do you have to do with the variables and exponents on GCF? Do you take the smallest exponent, largest exponent? What do you do?
You take the smallest exponent.
Smallest exponent. Fantastic. All right. What other way have we learned how to factor? Yesterday and the day before.
Like, I know what it is, but I don't know the name.
See, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Take the thingy and do the other
Wait,
thingy.
it's called
Factoring polynomial.
It's called trinomial factoring.
Oh.
So
There's 3 nomials and you factor them.
there are 3 nomials and you factor it.
Try.
Yes. Look at us go.
Tricycle.
Alright, so it's actually called the easy way because you just multiply, you find 2 numbers that multiply to get C and add to get B, right?
Yes.
And we had a leading coefficient of 1 yesterday and the day before. Game's over, Michigan won.
Yes.
92 to 91.
Let's go.
Dang, they came back.
Alright. So what we're going to learn how to do today, it's called the STAR method, and that's when you don't have a greatest common factor, but you have a leading coefficient. Caitlin, if you want to move over, babe, you can. I don't know why the last class put the desk like that, but if you want to move over, you can.
You could be angry for a day.
Okay, so turn your paper.
Favorite turn.
Now, this is called the STAR method because each time you draw a star, and you have certain rules that you have to follow every single time. Now, we're still finding 2 numbers that multiply to get C and add to get B, and your negative rules still apply, but you have an A up front. So the first thing you have to do is multiply A times C. So in your star, please write A times C up top. And every time you will multiply A, whatever it may be, times C, and you'll put it up top.
AC hammer.
Yeah. On the bottom of your star, you'll write B. Here, you'll write A and A. And what do you think the last thing we put in our star is?
C and C.
C.
C and B.
R.
C and H.
H and B. D.
C and
J.
A and B.
John Y.
C.
J and W. Cactus.
Oh, that's a factor.
Yes, that says cactus. So our factors. Remember, we have to factor whatever we get here. We have to find 2 numbers that multiply to give us this and add to give us B. Every single time. Every single time.
In my defense, it kind of looks like cactus.
Yeah, well, no.
No.
Not at all.
I read it quickly.
Nope, still not. Alright, so step 1, what I want you to fill in right here, is multiply A times C, then factor. Multiply A times C, then factor. I keep knocking off my balloons. Alright, step 2 says which pair. Stop.
Stop coughing.
Adds to give you B. So we're still doing that. We're still trying to find 2 numbers that multiply to give you C and add to give you B. But first we just have to multiply. And the last step kind of changes a little bit. So do you see how if I cover this up with my pinky up at the top, I have a fraction on both sides?
Yes.
Alright, so we have to reduce. Then parentheses.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Wouldn't it be nice if we did that in America?
Wow.
Wait, is that what it's called? Reduce, reuse, recycle?
Wait, Miss Asbury, when are we getting our shirts? Yeah.
When we get back from spring break.
I ordered 6.
Did
Did you
not.
really?
Yeah, I ordered 24.
No.
I heard a lot. I ordered 2.
I know.
Like not even a shirt. Like, did we win?
You know there's something really good.
I think we sold more than everyone.
What do we get?
Y'all got the bonus points in a 30% in a 60% category. So it was a
So it's one of them, right? And I can scoot the paper over for I ordered half of a shirt.
Wasn't it how many we sold? I'm confused. Did you get some?
Wait, you're on.
Did you get some?
we did. That's what we were just saying.
So for your daughter's name.
Okay.
Miss Asbury,
All right. So example.
what does this have to reduce?
Reuse, recycle.
Then parentheses. Holy potatoes, Batman. It should not take that long to write it
Not a
down.
Batman flavored potato.
I moved it over 4 times. All right. Underneath step 1, I want you to write example 1. And I want you to write down 7x squared plus 29x plus 4. All right, so the first thing you do is you look and see if there's a greatest common factor that goes into all 3 terms. Is there a greatest common factor that goes into all 3 terms? No, other than 1.
Not another one.
There's not one. All right, then you look and see if this equals 1. Does A equal 1? No.
No.
I thought you were asking does one go into it. My bad.
How about we listen? Let's try it again so that I don't weep for the future. Does A equal 1?
No.
Look at us go. It does not. What does A equal? 7. A is 7. So, what I want you to do is I want you to draw your star underneath step 2. Now, step 1 says to multiply A times C, then factor. Okay, so we're going to fill in our star by multiplying A times C, filling in B and A. Now, first you do 7 times 4. What is that?
28.
X.
Let me just write 28. A is the number out
What do you
front.
think I am, an astronomer?
All right, then you write B under here. What is B?
29.
Then on top of our star, what do we write?
4. No.
Technically, you could draw stars of 3 forms.
7.
Mix of
7.
oils and just other fluids.
If you were touching
Fantastic. Thank you, Mitchell, for saving the day.
Yeah, she was left with her.
Over here, look at the
What did I do?
Save the day.
And now you ruined it.
I was doing 7.
I was.
I was lucky.
How did I get 7?
How long would it take to jot
Okay,
this?
it says A right here. So we write A up here. A is 7. All right, so now we need to find 2 numbers that multiply to give us 28 and add to give us 29. So let's make our factor T like we've been doing. What 2 numbers multiply to give you 28?
7 and 4.
Okay. What?
It probably is that one.
Okay. Now, what's 7 plus 4?
11.
All right. What's 28 plus 1? So we use this one. Now, what you do from here is you write 28 here and 1 here.
Does it matter where you put them?
It does not matter which side you put them.
Wait, why is it 28?
Because 28 plus 1 is 29.
And we're done?
Before we get this, what is it?
We're done.
We do A times C and we put it here. Yep.
What happens to the square?
We're not worried about that yet. All right, now, from here, your last step says reduce. So, stop it now or you're all in detention. Do you understand? I cannot talk over you. Get your crap together. Shut your mouths while I'm trying to teach and stop making moronic noises. Does everybody understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
From here, cover up this, you reduce your fractions. So which fraction does not reduce?
28.
7 over 1. And we don't say over because what are we not?
Cow.
We're not cows. So what you do, come over here and draw your parentheses. These two numbers go in your parentheses with an x. Because we always have an x because we're factoring x squared every single time. If it was a, you would write 2 a's. If it was an Oreo, you would write 2 Oreos. So you write 7x plus 1. Is everybody with me? I got those because that's the top of my fraction and the bottom of my fraction. The top of my fraction always goes out front. The bottom always goes out here. This always goes with an x because x comes out front. Does everyone understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Over here, reduce. What number goes into both 7 and 28?
4.
Four.
7.
7. What's 7 divided by 7?
1.
What's 28 divided by 7?
4.
We reduced our fraction. Now, you just write x plus 4. Why did I not write my 1? Because it's 1, it's understood, we don't have to write it, we're done. Now, let's try and walk through that and digest it for a moment without you guys talking every 5 seconds. Step 1, we multiplied a times c together. When you multiply 7 times 4, what did we get?
28.
So we put 28 on top of our star, 29 on bottom because it's our b. We wrote our a's here. After that, we needed to find two numbers that multiply to give us 28 and add to give us b. That's 29. So we did 7 and 4, but that adds to give you 11. 28 plus 1 gave us 29, so we wrote our factors on bottom. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Then we looked to see which fraction we could reduce. We can't reduce 7 and 1, so we put it over here. 7 divided by 28 reduced to 1/4, so that became our parentheses over here. Does everybody understand so far? Turn your paper over. This is example 2. It says factor each trinomial. So before we jump into anything that has different signs, we're going to practice one together that they both have pluses. Now the rules that we said before about our signs, if C is positive, look at B, and they have to match the sign of B. That still holds. If you forget those rules, use your notes. If you can't look at your notes, I put it on the board for us so that we have it forever. Now, each time you do this, you're going to walk through the steps. The first thing you do is you look to see if there's a greatest common factor. Is there a greatest common factor of 4, 17, and 15? No. Then you look and see if A equals 1. Does A equal 1? Nope, so you can't do the easy method. So now we're going to go to the star. Everybody please draw a star. Now, if you can't remember from the front page what went in your star, we're going to draw one at the top just for funsies so that you can remember. At the top goes A times C. Who can remember what goes at the bottom?
B.
Give your team a point.
That's an point now.
What goes on top right here?
A.
Give your team a point. And what goes on the bottom?
Factors.
The factors. Give your team a point. Now, you do this every time so that you have a method to remember, you have rules, you can follow this every single time. Are we ready?
Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes.
All right. Start by multiplying 4 times 15. What's 4 times 15? 60. Hallelujah. 60 goes on top. What goes on the bottom of our fraction? 17. And what goes on the top?
4.
4.
Why did we pick 4?
What is A?
This is A.
Fantastic. Take a point.
What number?
Now, we need two numbers that multiply together to give us 60 and add to give us 17. So let's list our factors of 60. What two numbers multiply to give us that?
32.
Okay. What else?
60 and 1.
What else?
4.
Wait. Stop. 4, 15, 6, 10, 12, and 5. Okay. Thank you. That was a little much at once for me to write.
3 and 20.
We got that, baby. Oh, no, we don't. We have 30 and 2. I got excited.
Yeah.
Now, we need to find two numbers that add together to give us what?
17.
17.
So we know without a shadow of a doubt that it is not going to be 30 and 2, 60 and 1, or 3 and 20. Now, of our 3 right here, which adds to give us 17? Circle 12 and 5. Now, where does that go in our star?
At the bottom.
At the bottom. We write 12, we write 5. Does it matter which side I put them on? No. Now, looking at this, which fraction does not reduce? 4/5, 4/5. So we write 4x plus 5. Now, can anybody tell me why I put a plus there?
Because we're adding.
We're adding, it's positive, and they're both positive. We ready?
Yes.
Now we need to reduce 4/12. So what goes into both 4 and 12?
4.
What's 4 divided by 4? 12 divided by 4?
3.
So how do I write this in my parentheses?
X plus 3.
And that's it. That's how you do the star method. How do you feel so far? Can you try B without me without becoming psychopaths and talking the whole time?
Yes.
Are we sure? Alright, B says 3x squared minus 17x plus 20. Draw your star, follow the steps. You can ask me questions, but only after you've tried it yourself and talked to your group. Alright, does everybody's star look like this? No, what 2 numbers did you get that multiply together to give you 60 and add to give you negative 17?
3 and 20.
12 and 5.
Negative 12 and negative 5. Now, why do they both have to be negative?
Because
Because
negative
your
times negative
B's
equals
negative.
positive.
Because your B is negative and this is positive. So, which does not reduce?
The 3 and negative 5.
So it becomes 3x minus 5. And then this reduces. What goes into both 3 and 12?
3.
So 3 divided by 3 is?
1.
Negative 12 divided by 3 is?
4.
So then it's x minus 4.
Yeah, I got that.
Who got it right? Give your team a point.
But what if 3 plus 20 equals negative 17?
No, just sit on my
No, it
desk.
doesn't. Never mind. I was doing 3 minus.
Hey, be quiet.
So they both have to be negative. Now, your same rules as before apply. If C is positive, look at B. Both signs have to match B. If you cannot remember that, it is on the front on that poster. Look at your notes. Use what we've done. Let's try another one. Can you guys try it without me, or do you want to do it together?
I want to try.
You need to try it without me. Okay.
Cookie said that, right?
You are done with this problem.
I'm finished. I got it right.
Look at you. I'm super proud. Alright, so you did 5 times 6 and got 30. And then negative 13 is here, right?
Yep.
Up top you have 5 and 5. Now your 2 numbers that multiply together to give you 30 and add to get negative 13, they both have to be negative because you need a positive multiple and a negative sum. So negative 10, negative 3. Now, which of those fractions does not reduce? This one.
By negative 3.
So this goes out front every time, 5x, and this goes in the behind it, minus 30. The top one always goes with an x. Always, always, always. Now, what is this reduced to?
1 negative
Alright, so then that's x minus 2.
Right.
Who got it right? Give your team a point. Fantastic.
What if we all got it right?
2 points.
Give your team the points.
So we get 4 points?
Yes.
2 points. Okay.
Alright, D.
Okay, like 8 points. I got like 4 points. Shit, I have like 4 right now.
3x squared plus 11x minus 4. Now, this time, C is negative. Now, in our notes and on the board, it says if C is negative, look at B. And if you don't understand where I'm talking about when I say look at the board, see this big poster up here that says factoring polynomials.
Leftover truck.
Look here. It's crazy. It's like a big stoplight. If C is negative, look at B. If B is positive, the big factor is positive. Is our B positive?
Yes.
So what's the big factor going to be?
Positive.
Positive. Look at us go.
Why did I try?
A big factor.
When we factor the two numbers, we have a big number and a small number. Alright, now, we multiply still. What's 3 times negative 4?
Negative 12.
Alright, B goes on bottom. It's 11. And what goes on top? 3, because that's our A. Does everybody understand? Now, I want you to please list the factors of negative 12. Not out loud, just list it on your paper. Now, the big factor has to be what?
Positive.
Positive. So that means that the other one has to be negative. Now, I have 4 and negative 3, 6 and negative 2, 12 and negative 1. Does everybody see how my big factor is positive?
Yes.
And this is negative. Okay? Now, what are we? Which one adds to give us 11?
12 and negative 1.
So we put those on the bottom of our fraction. Does everybody understand why we chose 12 and negative 1? Are you sure?
No.
We added those together to get 11. $12 plus negative 1 is 11. Do you understand that? Are you lying to me? Okay. Alright, now, which of these does not reduce?
3 negative.
So that goes to the front. The number on top always goes out front. This goes to the bottom, minus 1. Does everybody understand? Are we sure? The number on top always goes out front with the X. Do we understand? Somebody let Psycho in. Alright, now, what is 3/12 reduced to? 1/4. So then, is it X plus 4 or X minus 4? X plus 4. Did you get it from the water fountain?
Yep.
Are you sure? Because last time I asked you to go get water, you went and got it from the bathroom.
I remember that.
No, I got it from water.
Raise your hand if you don't believe him.
I believe you, Sean. I believe you.
Thank you.
I gotta fix it.
From the sink?
Water constantly.
I want to drink that.
I'm not. I'm going to have to go get new water. Alright. Una más before you leave me.
Only you would do.
And there's all kinds of backwash in it now. Why did you have to drink it like that?
Yeah, I ate a baby about 2 hours ago.
There's something wrong with you. So much. So much that I can't
It
fix.
will taste a little bit.
Stop. It's not okay. Alright, when I'm asked before you, well, I have to give you your homework, so I want you to work on this one while I'll bring you around your homework. 3x squared minus 11x minus 20. Alright, so, if C is negative, look at B. If B is negative, what is the big factor going to be?
Positive.
If B is negative, what is the big negative? Alright, do that real quick. Let's go.
Real quick.
Go. Work. Let's go. Give me a problem.
Are they both
We
negative?
are from
Yep.
Oh, just the big ones.
I got it from water. Yeah.
So I like the X on the back.
I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about it in just a second. All right. Have you multiplied 3 times negative 20?
Yes.
And what did you get?
Negative 60. Oh, man. Oh, no.
Alright, now what 2 factors did you get that multiply to give you negative 60 and add to give you negative 11?
6 foot white males.
Alright, which one does not reduce?
4.
And that reduces to 1 and negative 5. Did anybody get it right?
Yeah, I did.
1 person, 2 persons, give your team a point. 5 persons. Now, your homework looks like this. You need to work them out on a separate sheet of paper. You must work them out on a separate sheet of paper. Does everybody hear the words coming out of my mouth?
Separate sheet of paper.
After you factor them, turn it over. The answers are on the back. You will only use them once. Once you use your answer, mark it out. Write your first factor here, your second factor here. Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, X, so you write X and then
This one you would write x minus 3 and then 6x plus 7.
Hey, see,
I don't read it.
I'm going to so mad have a
Tyree.